Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the program once again. Game on Click Ninja with me, Emmanuel Fash, and the squad. Game On is a program where you have to showcase your sports knowledge, where you have to put your sports knowledge to test, where you really have to talk about sports, your metal, what you know all about sports. That is what Game On is all about. And I've got two gentlemen in the studio with me today who will be putting their sports knowledge to test. One has been a striker who has scored over 100 goals, but don't ask me the team he actually played for. And the other is a goalkeeper who has actually kept about 50 clean sheets in his playing career. I think both of them will be telling us where they actually created this record and over the years what they've been doing. But I know right now both of them are sports analysts. That is what they do. Please, can you join me to welcome Deji Olowe to the studio? Deji, you're welcome.
Fash, thank you for having me. It's nice to be here, and I'm excited. I'm ready to go, and it's just one of those things. You want to know where I made my records or scoring goals. Watch me. I try to talk about football these days and talk about this lovely sport that make us all happy.
Scored over 100 goals, kept over 50 clean sheets in his play days. Abo Francis, welcome to the studio.
Thank you, Fashionable, for the hype and good evening, everybody. It's my pleasure to be on the show this evening.
All right, welcome, guys. On today's topic, as we know, we'll be looking at the teams that will make the top four in the EPL. Like I told you, the two gentlemen in the studio, they will be proving their sports knowledge. They will be telling us the teams they feel will be making the top four in the English Premier League. Over the years, we've seen the top four race cleanly contested by teams who are fighting for the Champions League position. Even the top four race is even more interesting than the team that definitely will looking like to win the Premier League. Like last over the past two seasons, also the EPL top four has been a power race, a power tussle between the teams that are actually wants to qualify for the Champions League. We know when you qualify for the Champions League, it's actually the biggest football club competition we have in the world. Even our own CAF Confederations Cup is not like the Champions League. Even the Libertadores in South America is not like the Champions League. Champions League has over a billion. I think they have the same viewership with the FIFA World Cup.
Yeah,
So
that's
that's to
really
tell
awesome.
you how important the Champions League is. And in the English Premier League, like I said, over the past 5 seasons, it has been keenly contested for that top four race. We've seen last season what happened at the end of last season. We saw how some teams missed out by just some niche in the Champions League. So, gentlemen, like I said, you are here to tell us the team you feel will make the Champions League this season, will make the top four. And at the same time, there's one team. I don't know if history will repeat itself against that same team, that is Leicester City, if they will actually miss out from the Champions League position. But quickly before we go on, you can follow us on all our social media handle. On Twitter is at Click Ninja One on Twitter, and then Instagram is at Click Ninja. Facebook Click Ninja. On you can watch us live on YouTube is Click Ninja, and then Facebook. You can get us on all our social media handle. Quickly, let me start with you, Francis. But before then, the match between the Squirrels of Benin and the Super Eagles of Nigeria is still at a goalless draw in the first half. I think they will be preparing to come back for the second half of that game right now. But let me start with you, Francis. You will be telling us which of the teams you think will make the top four this season. Definitely, Man City looks like the team that will run away with the league with 14 points ahead of Manchester United, who is in the second position. So, which teams do you think definitely will make the top four in the EPL this season?
In my own opinion, because in football we all know anything can happen. You know, you see some teams this week they are up there, next week they are falling agonizing short. But in my own opinion, I think the four teams that are going to make it to the Champions League next season will be Manchester City, Manchester United, Leicester City. It could be Liverpool or Chelsea, but I think Liverpool. And I know there have been speculation about Leicester City not making it there or making it then. You know, that has raised more questions than answers. Will Leicester make it to the Champions League next season? But I think they are going to make it this time. Last season looked promising for them. They started well. They had big wins, but it did not turn out to be good at the end of the season. But this time, I think this season looks very promising for them. I think their form is okay for now. They are currently third on the log with just 1 point behind second place Manchester United and five points above fourth place Chelsea. And I think with I think they have some couple of lapses. I think they have James Madison ruled out with an injury
couple of weeks now.
alongside what's the other guy's name? Harvey Barnes, I guess.
Harvey Barnes is out also.
He's also out for injury. But Kelechi Iheanacho has filled in the gap. We know he has this problem of inconsistency. You know, you see him scoring, and for like 4 weeks he will not score. But for now, and I think he's doing exuberantly well. We saw him score against Burnley on the 3rd of March. We saw him score a hat-trick against Sheffield United, scored against Manchester United in the FA Cup. So I think with Kelechi Iheanacho up in front, they are good to go. And I know Leicester City also have some couple of big games because with 29 matches played, I think we have like 9 matches to go to the end of the season. And they still have some couple of big matches to play. I think they still have Manchester United to play on the 11th of May. They have Chelsea. Away to Chelsea on the 15th of May, and they also have to play Tottenham on the 23rd of May. And even their next fixture is against Manchester City.
Francis, I don't know, Deji, do you actually agree with Abu here in the studio saying that Leicester City will make the top 4? Like you know, from the 1st position to the 10th position, which is Aston Villa. Aston Villa have 2 games in hand. Arsenal is on the 9th position. I think every other team from that 10th to the 1st position have the chance of making it to the top 4. Definitely, Man City, yes, agreed, look like the team that will win the league. But do you think from Manchester United, Leicester City, Chelsea, and West Ham is on their neck, Tottenham, Liverpool is there? Do you think Manchester United will drop out of the top 4 race, or Leicester City, who arguably last season they will not want what happened to them last season repeat itself? Do you agree with Abu in the studio here?
I think every team from 2nd position to even Everton, who are 8th position, still have a chance of finishing in the top 4 because there's just 11 points in between them from the 2nd to Everton in 8, and that's 11 points. That's a couple of losses and 2 draws, if you ask me, which can happen to anybody, even Manchester United, who are 2nd, are not safe. It's very, very interesting this season because the past 2 seasons, all 3 seasons, if memory serves me well, the first 2 teams were always shooing. We'll see, like last season, we saw Liverpool and Manchester City. The season before that, we saw Liverpool and Manchester City giving like serious gaps in between them and those who are in 3rd and 4th position, who finish 4th and 3rd respectively. But this season, between 2nd place Manchester United and 8th place Everton, you have 11 points, and between Manchester United in 2nd and Chelsea in 5th, it's just 6 points, 2 losses. So every one of them have a chance. And regarding Leicester, I still believe Leicester might not finish in the top 4 this season because now who is carrying their team? Kelechi Iheanacho, who tomorrow might just decide to be off form, and of course since Vardy came back from that injury from the operation he had, he has been off form. You saw him miss that sitter in the FA Cup.
Yeah, Deji. Don't you think our own Kelechi Iheanacho as it stands right now? He has been in top form in 2 games, 5 goals in 2 games for Leicester City. And I believe let me quickly take you back to the Super Eagles squad now.
Okay.
It is because of the form he is right now. He got the call up back to the Super Eagles.
Squad,
Now, don't you think with his form, Leicester City can make the top 4 this season? Because last season, their last match of the season against Manchester United, a player who was forgotten all through the season got the second goal for Manchester United. That is in person of Jesse Lingard, who did not even score a goal all through the season until the last day of the season. So, do you think history, like I said, history will repeat itself against, because Abu has said Leicester City will make the top 4. Now you are saying Leicester City will not make the top 4.
I'm sorry, I just don't believe they can. Actually, I don't have that faith in them that they can make the top 4. Because if you look at the coach now, Brendan Rodgers. Brendan Rodgers is a nearly man. He nearly won the league title in 2014. nearly man.
And they say nearly cannot kill a bird.
Yes, in football terms, nearly means nothing. Nothing actually. You saw other than in the Scottish Premier League, where it's I could win a league with any of
Adeji. Well, I don't know your coaching prowess. I don't know how good you are in coaching.
I could win a league tomorrow if I go to the Scottish Premier League. You can see he's an early man. Then Leicester City, if they are to finish in the top 4, their form will not ride on the player, not on a player like Kelechi Iheanacho. I'm sorry to say.
No, Abu,
when he said he's a nearly man, nearly cannot kill a bird. We've seen Jurgen Klopp, Liverpool manager. Before winning the Champions League, he lost some couple of finals. When he coached in Dortmund, he lost final. He lost final again in 2018 with Liverpool, and he eventually won it.
Yes.
So you said a nearly cannot kill a bird. Okay, fine.
No, until you win it, it's nearly.
Yeah, yes. No, you're saying you don't have that faith in them.
I'm sorry.
And I'm trying to say, okay, they might make it to the top 4 this time because they want to learn from their previous mistake. They started well last season and they became the architect of their own demise. This time, Brendan Rodgers wouldn't want that.
Okay, now let's look at the point. Manchester City is on 71 points. Manchester United is on 57 points. That is about a 14 gap difference with Manchester United with a game in hand. Then Leicester City is on 56 points, 1 point difference between them and Manchester United. Chelsea is on 51 points. West Ham, let me read the top 10 for you. West Ham with 49 points. Tottenham with 48 points. Liverpool and Everton are tied on the same points, 46 points, but Liverpool is on the 7th position with a goal difference 12-3. And then we have Arsenal on 42 points, and then Aston Villa, who also have 2 games in hand with 41 points. Now, if you look at this from Manchester United down to Aston Villa, now out of these 9 teams, who do you think can you pick your top 4 teams from? Okay, now let's put Man City between them. Will you pick? Can you pick your top 4 teams from this particular from this position from 1st to 10th?
Okay, yes, definitely.
Okay, let's hear your teams.
Manchester City, Manchester United, Chelsea, and Tottenham. I have my money on Tottenham.
Okay.
No, I think I'll go with, like I said earlier, Manchester City, Manchester United, Leicester City. I wanted to say Chelsea, but I think I'm a little bit sentimental. I'll say Liverpool.
All right. Before we go, let's take our comments from our viewers. And the first comment here, the first person to comment here is Ayola Olaronke. He said, analyst Ayodeji in the building. Okay. The other person said, laugh out loud, you are wicked. Are you saying Kelechi is a flash in the?
I'm not saying it's a flash, but I'm just saying is it inconsistent. I'm just painting as it is.
Okay. Atawson said Leicester City can, and I believe will make the top 4. What is wrong with Kelechi? He is a good player. You are in for surprises, my dear. In football, never say never.
I'm not writing Kelechi.
And then we have Ugoma Ukeji said Chelsea will remain in the top 4. Then Atawson has picked her team, the top 4 team. She said Tottenham, Manchester United, Leicester City. I believe she
Who's
wants
the
to go
fourth
with
person?
It's
she
definitely
Okay,
Manchester
Manchester
City.
City.
Yeah,
Manchester
Manchester City,
City.
because they are just away from them. We know they are champions.
Okay,
so.
yeah.
Now,
That's one out of the trophy.
a beautiful comment there. But guys, truly, this season has brought in a different perspective to the Premier League.
Okay.
If you watch the way Premier League is going this season, the first position is no longer something that is even being contested. Like I said from the onset, for the past 5 seasons, from that second, third, fourth position has been a fight.
Yes.
Now this season it has started again with 27 points. That is 9 matches to go. Some have Manchester City has 8 matches to play.
Yes.
Then Manchester United with some other teams have about 9 games to go. That is 27 points, and 27 points is not a fluke.
Yes.
Now, out of the 27 points, do you think, Deji, because you said Leicester cannot make it, out of that 27 points, how many points do you think Leicester City will be able to garner from that 27 points?
Well, if they want to have any chance at qualifying, at least from 27 points, they have to get at least 20 points or 20 to 25 points. If they have any chance, to avoid, they have to get like at least
out of 27,
out of
20, 25 points.
They have to just get 20
Now,
points.
if they get 25 points, what will be left for other teams?
No, that's championship.
That means
they win back to back.
So are you saying if they get up to like 20 points or 90 points, they can't go through?
If they get 20 points, they can actually. But if last season is anything to go by, if last season is anything to go by, that means
judging them by last season. Like.
Okay,
I will judge you by what you have done.
I got a comment here. He said, Ken Yahweh said, Chelsea and Liverpool definitely will make it to the top 4. And then Hafsat Issa said, well done, guys. Now, if let me ask you now, Francis. You are supporting Leicester City.
Mm-hmm.
If we look at, okay, in 2015 to 16 season, Leicester City were champions of England. Yes. And they went for they qualified to the Champions League.
Yes.
Now they got to the quarter-final stage. Mm-hmm. And ever since then, they've not been able to qualify for the Champions League. And this season, Slavia Prague, a club from Czech Republic, had to remove them from the Europa League. Yeah. They played out a goalless draw in the first leg, and right there at the King Power Stadium, they lost 2-0 at home to Slavia Prague. And we have our own Peter Olayinka. It was as if Nigerians were playing against themselves. Yes. Olayinka was in Slavia Prague, Kelechi Iheanacho and Wilfred Ndidi were for Leicester City. Now, don't you think that momentum they had in 2017 when they got to the quarter-final stage, don't you think it's something that will spur them on to actually stay for the top 4 this season?
That was a couple of like four seasons ago. So last season they were almost qualifying and they lost. So if they know what's good for them, they have to learn from the past failures. But like I said, Brendan Rodgers is a nearly man. And since winning the Premier League, I will keep saying it because it's a good point. Since winning the Premier League, they've been out of the picture until last season when it was I say okay, they're actually coming back to the big time. Yes, kudos to them. They have been able to build on that this season, and let's see what they have built so far. Hopefully, it will not crumble.
Okay, and let me ask our viewers out there. Do you think Leicester City? Please keep your comments coming in. Do you think Leicester City will make the top 4 this season? Abo, people, we've had people supporting the teams you selected: Tottenham, Manchester United, and Leicester City. Yeah. Now, let me ask the viewers also. Deji, you are saying Leicester City will not make that top 4. Our viewers now, do you think Leicester City will actually make the top 4 this season? Please keep your comments coming in on our Facebook page at Click Naija, on all our social media handle, even on YouTube. You can get us on Click Naija. Twitter is Click Naija 1 on Twitter. Now, Francis, you've heard what Deji said. He said Brendan Rodgers is a nearly man. Now you said, you brought in Jurgen Klopp as an example, who also was a nearly man at some point, but at the tail end, He got
He
won.
eventually
He
won the
eventually
Champions League,
won the
which he
Premier
never
League
won.
after 30 years for
The cha-
Liverpool.
I mean,
Even
the
the
Champions
Champions
League.
League.
I
He was
was coming
losing
from
cup
the
final.
Okay,
yeah, I was coming
okay,
from
for
the
the Champions League.
point.
Now,
He lost to final
from
before
what
he
Deji is
eventually
saying,
won.
are you confident that Leicester City will actually stay and finish at that third position, or will eventually even top Manchester United?
No, I wouldn't say they will top Manchester United because I'm a Man U fan. I'm a little bit sentimental, but I know they are in a comfortable position. They are in third place, so I think they still have what it takes to retain where they are, even if they will lose the third, but not the fourth place. I think with their present form, they just have to keep it up. They just have to maintain focus, and believe me, this season will be a different story from the last season.
Okay, Hafsat Issa said, okay, Manchester United for life. She's telling us she's a Manchester United fan. And then Ihuoma Ukeji said, Leicester City are doing well, and judging them by their past top four, judging them by their past top four should not be too hard for them.
Yeah,
And then
that's a good one.
Atal Osen said, I have said it before that Leicester City will make the top four. The top four go
He go choke.
he go choke. Definitely he go. Yes, it's choking already. And then Iwoma Okeji said also it is top four now. Which one is Brenda Rogers?
He's
a nearly
a
man.
nearly man. I don't think the nearly tag should apply to a mere top four finish.
Oh,
No. See,
that's what we watched
then
yesterday.
we have Yunus. Yunus now said, Arsenal, Joe, I no give up. If I hear pin and the rest Man City and Liverpool. No, it's interesting the way the Premier League is this season, guys. We cannot actually take that away from the Premier League this season. I think in the whole top 5 leagues in Europe, Premier League has been something of much interest. We saw what is happening in the La Liga. If not that Atletico Madrid is fumbling right now, that Barcelona and Real Madrid are doing the catch-up race. But in England, you don't even know how the top 4 will look like. We can say, okay, last season, Liverpool won the league with 99 points, closely followed by Man City with 81 points. But this season also is looking definitely that Man City will win it. But the second position, now I want to ask, is Manchester United also guarantee that top 4? Let me ask you, DJ.
I wouldn't say Manchester United are safe. They're not safe because it's just okay between them and West Ham in 5th. That's just about 8 points
in between. Yes.
In between. So you could lose 8 points in like what, 3 games? So we have 9 games to play. So I wouldn't say they are safe, but they have a stronger chance of finishing in the top 4.
Above.
Yeah. For once, I will agree with him. Manchester United has a better chances of finishing in the top 4. I think they are in a comfortable position, being second on the log.
Well, you know, one thing that some teams are not comfortable being the team that people are chasing.
Now, don't you think let me use the word outsider, West Ham, because they're actually pushing. And ever since Lingard joined them, it has been a ton of fortune for West Ham United and for David Moyes, who wants to make a statement that, hey, I'm a manager in the Premier League, a force to be reckoned with. Do you think also West Ham United will join that top 4? Okay, now let me ask you, Abu, who out of Manchester United, Leicester City, Chelsea, who will drop for West Ham?
If anybody is dropping, or if anyone will drop out of the top 4, I think it will be Chelsea.
DG,
I'll still go with Leicester.
You still go with Leicester? That means you hate Leicester.
No, I don't. It's about look at Chelsea. Chelsea are rejuvenated with the appointment of their coach, and they are like on an upward trend now. Unless anything catastrophic happens, they're shooting for the Premier for the top 4. So they might just take the last one. But if Leicester are not have not learned anything from last season, they might drop. And West Ham might be forced to break on. I'm particularly rooting for David Moyes. I want him to finish in the top 4 at least. It will banish some of the nightmare he had at Manchester United and the way people have actually ridiculed him.
Okay, quickly, let me take some of our comments before Atausen said, even me, I am laughing and crying for Arsenal. Who say Arsenal there? Then Ihoma Okeji also said, Nas, you keep dreaming. Which kind Arsenal? This has got to be the joke of the year. I don't know why people are talking about Arsenal. I think Arsenal is a good team who looks like making the top four. But let's not go there right now. Then Iwoma Ataos said Chelsea. Oh, that means she's saying Chelsea will drop out of the top four.
No,
And
Chelsea
then
is not dropping out.
Iwoma Okeji said Chelsea is not dropping out of the top four. Take it or take it to the bank. I think I love all these comments. Please keep your comments coming in on this particular page. Let us know what you feel. Will Leicester City make the top four this season? And out of the from the second position down to the 10th position, who will drop out of that top four race, and who from 5th to 6th will push up to the top four race, finish at that second, third, or fourth? We have Arsenal, like I said, Arsenal, Aston Villa, Everton, Liverpool, Tottenham, West Ham, and then Chelsea, Leicester City, Manchester United, and Man City, who's at the top. Then we are going to see at the end of this season who will definitely make the top four. David, let me come to you. Your last word, word on the show.
Well, I think Arsenal are out of it. So nobody should even mention Arsenal. But one thing I'm not discounting is Tottenham. That is Jose Mourinho. You can never bet against that man. So I think if you are looking for a dark horse in the top four race, watch out for Tottenham.
Okay, your last word.
To me, I think I will go with Liverpool. Liverpool has what it takes to bounce back to the top four. They are defending champions. They have a great squad. They have a good coach. So I don't even see why they should be lying there at 7th position. I think before we get to around 38, Liverpool, they stand a chance of making a difference.
Okay, quickly, let me take this comment before we go from Ohiani. He said, "You know, well done, no." Thank
well
you.
Done, so thank you.
That is how far we can go on the show. On the show Game On Click Ninja. Click Ninja actually is an online radio here in the city of Abuja. You can get us on all our social media handle at Click Ninja 1 on Twitter. Instagram is at Click Ninja. On Facebook is Click Ninja. You can also watch us on YouTube at Click Ninja. Game On, we come back to you next Saturday on this same line. Keep in touch with us. Keep your comments coming in. Even after now, you can also drop your comments so that we get your view. If definitely Leicester City will make the top four this time around, and then the teams you feel we finally make the top four at the end of the season. You've heard it from the two great guys in the studio, from Francis Abo and then from Deji. Although they have made their choice, they have chosen their team. It's now left to be seen if definitely the teams they choose will make the top four. And for Deji, he said Leicester City will not make the top four. And quickly, kudos and thanks to my super producer Osen Ata, and to my supervising producer Ehi Ohiane, and then a great inspiration from Mansit Rindap. I still remain your host, Emmanuel Fashimi. See you next week.